Hey Ramley, how are my Ram super fans doing today? Today we're doing things a little different. My birthday was October 3rd, a couple weeks ago. Yeah, when we took that loss to the Arizona Cardinals. I feel like the Rams never won on my birthday. A couple years ago, last time they played on my birthday, I think it fell on a Thursday night and we were playing the Arizona, we were playing the Seattle Seahawks, and Greg Zuerlein missed like a chip shot, 30-yard field goal to win the game. I just had a feeling this year was gonna be the same. We were gonna take another loss on my birthday, and that's exactly what happened. But my wife, on the other hand, I have a wonderful wife. She surprised me with a birthday party, and it was beautiful. I'll share some of the photos. I had an Aaron Donald birthday cake. She ended up gifting me like a full-sized helmet to display down here in the man cave. And the best gift of all was the tickets to the game this Sunday against the Giants. We live upstate in Rochester, New York. It's about a 5.5-hour drive down to MetLife Stadium. So we were originally gonna do that, but we had an incident with United. I'll spare you guys the boring details, but we had an incident with United where they gave us a couple of vouchers. So we're actually gonna fly down to MetLife Stadium. We're gonna fly into Jersey, and the tickets were really cheap. We're actually gonna go into town on Saturday, spend the day there on Saturday. We have a few things planned. We're gonna go to a spa, just relax. I work really hard, and me and her are finally away from the kids, so relaxing is definitely on the menu. Then we're also gonna go to the movies that night. Every time we go to Jersey, we have to stop at iPic. That's a movie theater where it's kind of intimate. It's kind of like a really nice date, where you have your seats that are together, that fully recline. You also have a table in between you guys, and you have a waiter and a full menu, a full bar. You order drinks, you order appetizers. You could get full entrees and all of that while you're watching a movie, and they deliver it right out to you, right to your seat. It's really nice. So we're gonna do that on Saturday night. Wake up, probably eat some breakfast, get ready for that game. I'm really excited for, and then after that, head down to the city and do some exploring and do some things down there in Manhattan. Man, my wife, she doesn't know anything about football. She hates it. But for some strange reason, I don't understand it. I don't try to understand it. I just accept it for what it is. But for some strange reason, she doesn't mind watching it live. She doesn't understand it. Every time we go and watch the Rams play live, I spend the first quarter and a half explaining to her the game, on what a first down is, and we're going that way. We're trying to score in that end zone. So it's fun. It's something I look forward to every time we go. The first time we went to a live football game was the Rams versus the Seattle Seahawks in LA. And this was 2017, right when the Rams started being good. This is the beginning of the season. Cooper Kupp, this was at the Coliseum, and Cooper Kupp dropped the game-winning touchdown. I remember being so angry after the game, probably because I was surrounded by Seattle Seahawks fans, and all they did was talk shit the whole game. And when we were marching down the field, the only thing I wanted to do was to win, and not because I wanted to win, just because I wanted to look at all of them and laugh in their faces, but it didn't happen. We ended up going to the MetLife. We ended up going to MetLife Stadium last time they were here. I don't remember the score of the game, but we won in a blowout. That was the game where Robert Woods had it was like a 3rd and 25 or 3rd and 30 or something like that, and we had a screen to Robert Woods, and he took it up the field for like 60 yards. I'll probably never forget that play. the fans in MetLife Stadium are really, really nice. You know, we were blowing them out, and I was talking and yelling and cheering and screaming the whole game. And nobody bothered me. Some people made comments joking with me and whatnot, and telling me how much their team sucks, and you know, good luck the rest of the season. So I'm hoping to get, you know, a lot more of that. My one experience there was really pleasant with the fans in New York. Me and my brother actually did make it down to MetLife Stadium one time. We went to see WrestleMania the last time they were here. That was an experience because, you know, when it comes to wrestling, they put the wrestling ring right in the middle of the field, and then they surround it by seats. So it's way more people at a wrestling event in a football stadium than it is an actual football game. It had to be at least 80,000 people there, probably more. It was crazy. I definitely would like to go back and experience that again. The craziest part was afterwards, when it was over and you had 80,000 people trying to catch an Uber. Damn near impossible. Me and my brother actually, after waiting, you know, an hour for an Uber to come and it's just not working, we ended up walking like a mile down the road to the nearest hotel and catching an Uber from there. It was a little easier. I remember the Uber to MetLife Stadium was $17. The Uber on the way back was $93. That was a fun night. But this time I told myself, if I ever come back to MetLife Stadium, I'm gonna stay in that hotel that's right next door. Therefore, if I can't catch an Uber, we could just walk. So that's exactly what we did today. Our plane leaves at about 9:45. And the good thing about living in like our smaller, you know, the medium-sized city is that you get right in, you check your bag in, you walk right through you walk right in through TSA. I think TSU is the name of that Drake song that I was just listening to. But you walk right in through TSA. It takes you about, from the time you get to the airport to the time you get to your gate, no more than 15 minutes. So, you know, that's one of the benefits of living in a smaller city. So we don't have to wake up too early. As long as we get there about 9 o'clock, we'll get there with more than enough time to check in. But yeah, guys, I'm headed off to bed right now. I can't wait to show you everything that happens on this trip to New York City, and I can't wait to recap the game. All right, man, we back in our hotel room. The Rams just won 38-11. It was a complete blowout. We had so much fun. We're about to head to the city and enjoy the rest of the day. Welcome, Ramley. How are my Rams super fans doing today? The Rams beat the Giants 38-11, and I'm here to tell you guys all about it. Man, my trip to New York City was great. This is probably the 5th or 6th time I've been able to make it to New York City, and every time has been great. And of course, it's even better when you get to see the Rams blow the Giants out. Man, it felt so good being around NFL football. This is the first time I've been able to see the Rams live in 4 years. I haven't actually seen the Rams since the last time they came to MetLife in 2017. I had plans last year to go to a few games, but you know, unfortunately due to COVID, that wasn't a possibility. So I was super excited. MetLife Stadium was so big. It's a pretty nice stadium. The fans there are really nice as well. You don't ever have to worry about, at least I haven't had to worry about cheering for the opposite team in my 2 times here at MetLife. The fans have been very nice. Maybe it would have been different if the Giants were a little more competitive and the fans seemed to care a lot. I noticed after the Rams scored the 4th touchdown in the 2nd quarter, a lot of fans just up and left. It wasn't even halftime yet, which is kind of crazy to me. I mean, ain't no way I would spend, you know, $150 on a ticket and then leave before halftime. I don't care what the score is. I don't care how the game's going. I'm gonna sit there and get my money's worth, you know. Halfway through the 3rd quarter, literally half the stadium was gone, which, you know, was funny to me. I got a lot of enjoyment out of that, and it was great seeing some Rams fans talking to other Rams fans that was in the stadium, sitting around me and just getting their perspective on the team. Man, anytime you are around the Ramley, it is just a great time. But enough of that, guys. Let's get right into the game and let's talk the offensive possessions. Now, the Rams had 12 possessions, scoring on 6 of them. We ended up with 5 touchdowns and 1 field goal. Now, that percentage would have been a lot better if we didn't blow them out pretty early and pretty much chew the clock out majority of the 2nd half. Now, let's talk Matthew Stafford, who was pretty much almost perfect. He was 22 for 28. That's a whopping 78% completion percentage. He also had 251 yards and 4 touchdowns. He did have 1 interception, but he finished with a 128.7 passer rating. Matthew Stafford played great. Now, he was bad for 6 quarters, and I seen you guys kill him. Not everybody, but some people really killed Matthew Stafford for the way he played in the Arizona Cardinals game and the way he played in the first half of that Seattle Seahawks game, which was rightfully so. But he played great the 2nd half of the Seattle game, and he played great in pretty much 4 quarters here against the Giants. So you guys killed him for not playing good in 6 straight quarters. So please, you guys better keep that same energy and give him praise for how well he played in the last 6 quarters. Anytime your quarterback finishes with 4 touchdowns and a passer rating over 120, you gotta just clap it up for him. Now let's talk our receivers. Now, Cooper Kupp was the highlight here, wheeling in 9 receptions for 130 yards and 2 touchdowns. Higbee also had 5 receptions for 36 yards, and Robert Woods finished with 2 catches for 31. I do wish Robert Woods was a little more involved, but I really can't complain when Matthew Stafford really wasn't forcing the ball to anyone. He was just kind of finding the open man. It just so happened to be Cooper Kupp was open more often than not. Now let's talk our running backs. We finished with 131 yards on the ground as a team. Darrell Henderson finished with 78 of those yards and a touchdown. He would finish with 3.7 yards per carry. Sony Michel finished with 42 yards on the ground on 4.7 yards per carry. Now, I'm a little shocked that the running game wasn't a little better here, but I would like to rewatch the game and see if the Rams chewing the clock out in the 2nd half and really trying to waste time contributed to these low averages. Now let's talk our offensive line. Now, the offensive line was still pretty good. We did give up 2 sacks, which was weird to see, but all in all, still a very good game. Now, the only way your quarterback is going to finish with a 78 completion percentage is if he has great protection, and that's exactly what Stafford had here. Now, really quick, before we get into the defense, if you guys could just like this video, comment, and hit subscribe so you never miss an upload. Also, if you could follow me on Instagram and Twitter, I really appreciate it. Now let's talk the defensive possessions. Now, our defense was solid. We had 12 drives and we only gave up 1 touchdown and 1 field goal. Now let's talk our front 7. Now, our front 7 was amazing. Now, we finished with 7 quarterback hits, 4 sacks. We only gave up 60 yards on the ground on 3.3 yards per carry. Now, Aaron Donald had a half a sack, and Leonard Floyd finished with a sack and a half as well. And Ogbo finished with a strip sack that was recovered by Leonard Floyd as well. All in all, you really can't ask for much more from this front 7. Now let's talk the secondary. Now, Daniel Jones finished with 242 yards passing, but that was on a monster 51 attempts. That's only 4.7 yards per attempt. We also managed to pick Danny Dimes off 3 times, and we didn't allow a play bigger than 17 yards. Rookie Robert Rochelle was able to get an interception, and Taylor Rapp was able to get 2 of them. All in all, we looked pretty good. Now, I know the Giants didn't have much help as far as wide receivers catching the ball due to injuries, but you know, we did exactly what we should have did. We shut a struggling team down. We shut a team down that was riddled with injuries, and we pretty much had our way. Now let's talk special teams. Now round of applause for kicker Matt Gay, who was perfect on the day, making all 5 of his point afters and also kicking a 32-yard field goal. And even better, he didn't kick any of those kickoffs out of bounds. Nice way to redeem yourself. Now let's talk my concerns. After winning 38-11, you guys might think I'm nitpicking, but just hear me out. The concern that I have is the Rams starting off slow. Now we started off the game by giving up a 73-yard drive. And yes, it did stall at the goal line and it only resulted in 3 points. But then we go on to do nothing with our first 2 possessions. We don't actually score until the beginning of the second quarter. And of course, once we start scoring, we couldn't stop, scoring on 4 out of 5 possessions just in the second quarter. Now my concern is just getting off to that slow start is gonna hurt us when we're playing better teams. Now I'm not saying we gotta start off every game scoring 3 straight touchdowns. I mean, that would be nice, but that's just unrealistic. All I'm saying is this game looked pretty evenly matched after the first quarter, and I don't like that. We definitely need to start these games off a little better. And we did the same thing last week against Seattle. You guys can say I'm nitpicking if you want, but it is what it is, and that's the truth. And guys, you know I like to finish these recaps on a positive note, so let's get right into that. The Rams got the W. We got the win. That will always be my positive whenever we win. Any team in this league could beat any team in this league, any given Sunday. At the end of the day, they're all professionals. Now, after a big win traveling to Seattle on a short week, we're asked to travel all the way to the East Coast to play a 10 a.m. game, and we took care of business. And I know we started off a little slow, but at the end of the day, we still looked great on both sides of the ball, and I'll take that any day. And really quickly, guys, before we get into the player of the game, I can't stress this enough. Please follow me on Instagram, and please follow me on Twitter. You guys will definitely like the content. If you like the content here, you'll love it over there. Also, if you could just stop, like this video, and subscribe to the channel, it really helps me get this video in front of more eyes. I would really appreciate that, guys. Now let's give out this Rams Superfan game ball. Now this week, the Rams Superfan game ball goes to none other than safety Taylor Rapp. He's been criticized by me a lot this season, so I definitely want to praise him when it's due. He finished the game with 5 tackles, 3 passes defense, 2 interceptions, and a quarterback hit. And the secondary also didn't give up any plays longer than 17 yards. Whenever the secondary isn't giving up big plays, you gotta just believe that the safeties are doing their job covering that deep pass. This was a great outing for Taylor Rapp. Hopefully this builds his confidence and it continues throughout the rest of the season. Because if we're gonna win the Super Bowl, we're gonna need help from them safeties. And before we go, guys, let me give you the NFC update. The Seattle Seahawks lost to the Pittsburgh Steelers. The 49ers were on their bye week. And unfortunately, the Arizona Cardinals beat the Cleveland Browns. Now that loss for the Seahawks makes the Rams 3 games above the Seahawks and the 49ers going forward. We're 1 game behind the Arizona Cardinals still, and they obviously hold the tiebreaker. And the Rams are currently tied with 4 other teams for 2nd place in the NFC. Now we play the Lions next week. Be on the lookout for that preview video. And the Arizona Cardinals play the Texans. So unless it's a miracle, I really don't expect nothing to change next week. But the good thing about the NFL is that we play everybody in our division twice. So I'm not really worried about it. The best team will win this division. Thank you for watching, guys, and be on the lookout for the Rams and the Lions preview video. And if you're interested in more Rams content, just click this video right here.